Hi everybody, it's Diana from The Wayward Cat and Wayward Cat Publishing, and today I have my latest junk journal. I did a video on the beginnings of the cover for this journal, where I glued on this fabric, and then on top of the fabric I first glued on these sari silk ribbons for the ties. And then I used this cardboard. I cut out the pieces and separated them a little bit so it looks kind of like a puzzle. And you can see the fabric underneath and the sari ribbon underneath. This is just a little strip of fabric here and some little, whatever you call that stuff, flowers. And I covered the spine just with a single piece, and the back has a single piece of corrugated cardboard also. I just ripped away little bits of it so that it has that really cool look. I think I did a little bit of inking on it to give it that old look. It's sort of a chunker. I've certainly done worse and made much bigger ones. I try to make them not so fat, but they always end up this way. I just make fat journals. All right, let's have a look inside. This is that paper that I made that I talked about in the video about the cover, and I thought I might do a video of how I did it. It's basically just brown paper towels glued together and then put stuff in it like leaves and thread and bits of fabric in it, and then put a final layer of what I think is, I don't know, some kind of very thin white paper. I just can't remember what I used. It could have been some sewing paper that I have for making patterns, very thin patterning paper. All right, I have some lace here covering up the little bit between the paper and where the signature starts. And this I put on the first signature. It's just a flip out. It goes to about here and you flip it out. And it's got a little envelope here. I'm trying to do that with my left hand. It didn't work very well. So there's just a little bit of ephemera in there. And the envelope itself is a pocket. All right, we're gonna wait and put that on later. And I just tucked an old digital printout of a photo, one of those old flowers, a paper flower that you can get at Michael's. And inside the flip out, this is a tuck spot. This is made out of that fabric blinds material that I got at a estate sale or a garage sale. And I think I tea-dyed that one, sure looks like it. And a little pad of paper for writing, and I covered the top with the same paper that is on the inside cover. And here I have a strip of the corrugated cardboard. I wanted to help shore up this page here because I put this dangly here with this pretty charm. It's got a bee in it. So I needed this to be sturdy. And on the other side is some lace, a pocket made out of the corrugated cardboard with another one of those flowers. You can write on the back of that. And here's a pocket with a little belly band in it. I think that's an old photo from a book. You can write on the back of that. And a little tuck in there. And this is a giant playing card. Here, I got a box of giant playing cards recently at the Antiques Mall where I have a booth. So one thing I did was make this pocket and decorated it with some, this is like a lace flower with a button. That's another one of those paper flowers. Put little bits of ephemera in there. That, and then it is also a pocket. It's an old postcard, old vintage postcard from, let's see, where is the year? 1907. It's pretty neat. here's just some lining with this weird green tape. I think it's some kind of sewing thing, but I've been using it for trims. It's pretty cool. Here's a tuck here. This is one of the little bits of ephemera that I made. I think I did a video on making those. This is just some paper trim here. And this is some real cool, could be handmade paper. You can get this by the pack. I think I got it through Amazon, but you can get a big pack of it. And put a pretty flower on that. And here I used a big wide piece of lace, glued it on the edges to make a, I don't know, a handle to turn the page. And here's a double pocket. Well, maybe a triple pocket. It's got a little pocket on the pocket. And there's another pocket. Oops, careful. That's just a piece of paper. It's very delicate. And pocket back here. Put another bit of cardboard there. And just some bits of ephemera. Lots of writing space. This is an old page from something. It's old, kind of delicate. It already had all that writing on it. Just some more kind of a cluster here. On this side, just some ephemera, which you could also write on. And this is the center page of the first signature from a movie book. And I covered the back side of it with napkin. And here's the other side. And this is the other side of that very old piece of paper. It's probably something I got out of a book. You know, the front pages of books often are blank, and you can use those papers in your journals. And here's a pocket on this envelope. It's another one of the bookmarks that I made. I got this out of a book, I think, and just turned it into a pocket. And a pocket on the inside of the envelope, another picture from the movie book. And inside the pocket, an old photograph from 1959 and some other ephemera. And then I covered this with a nice wide piece of lace and used it as a tuck spot. I don't know where I got this. It's pretty cool, but I cannot remember where I got it. More writing space. There's a pretty little pale pink flower here. I really like that. And here's just a cluster with some of that, I can't remember what it's called now. Oh well. It's got some paper, napkin, and ribbon. And I found these little things at a thrift store. I think they're pretty. They're going to make for nice clusters. There's a paper flower on this side with a button. This is just cardstock glued on. And here's just a pocket, and I glued on some napkin. And that's a piece of kind of heavyweight paper, not exactly cardstock that you can write on. And here's a trim, one of those trims I got from that place called Trims on Wheels. They're online, you can shop there. Always looks nice on the edge of a page. You can write on these pages. And here's another pocket decorated with some ephemera. Another one of those bookmarks that I made. More like a tag, I guess. And then you may remember, if you've seen my other videos, that I found a bunch of these, what do you call those? Like a little mini file folder from the Goodwill, I think. I glued one of those, one of those long envelope things that they put your silverware in. I got a big packet of some somewhere. So this one's just folded up and the bottom's cut off so it can be a pocket. And the top part is a pocket too. Put these things back in. There we go. And then this folds out for lots of writing space. And I glued it in as a pocket and put this old postcard in there. And this is from Florida, St. Augustine, Florida. Oldest house in the United States. Sorry about my throat, my voice, it feels very dry. I've had a very dry throat these days. I have allergies. All right, some pretty trim there. And here's a pocket, and this is a page from a set of papers I got with weird illusions on it. Like this looks like a woman this way. And I get the feeling it's supposed to look like a ram. I don't know. They're weird optical illusions. They're a little freaky, but you can write on the inside of it. And on top is a little bit of ephemera glued on as a little pocket. And this is in between the two signatures. I mean, yeah, in between two signatures, but it's a total of 3 signatures. It's a little pocket. This is just from some collage paper that I made. And here is just a folded bit of cardstock to write on. Here's some bead trim on this page. Another pocket with some ephemera in for writing. And I got this at a vintage market here in town. Somebody else made it, and it's really cool. So now it's ephemera, and you can write on the back of it. And I put a pocket on this pocket. Stick a bit of ephemera in there. And this pocket is from, you might recognize it, the sheet up front. This is from a book, and of course I can't remember what book it's from, but this is a bit of it. Another one of those movie pictures. More trim from Trims on Wheels. This is some Braille paper. I got that in a bundle somewhere. This is another bit of collage paper with an old postcard that has a photograph on it. And that says, oh, collector books. And this is an old envelope. And I just decorated it with some ephemera. Something is stuck on me. And inside, I think it was still stuck on me. It looks like a little bead. I'll have to see what that came from. I think I did a video on these playing cards. You open this up, and inside there's a little girl kind of staring at you. Get that closed again. And that was in the pocket of the envelope. And this is the center of the second signature from the movie book. That's Wizard of Oz, obviously. And the other side of the envelope. It's a little cover of Popular Science magazine. That could be, yeah, that's a Norman Rockwell, from my Norman Rockwell book. And the other side of the envelope, I made a little pocket there with some ephemera in that. And here, this flips out. You can write in it. Let's see here. And more trim on this page. And here's a little lace pocket here. A nice photograph with a cool frame. I don't think I got this trim at Trims on Wheels. I don't remember where I got that. Just more cute little clusters. Here's a bright pocket, and inside is something that I covered. It was probably a tag off something, and I just covered it. I guess you could write on that. I just think it looks cool. And this is a cartoon from my New Yorker cartoons book. I don't know if you can see it all. It looks like maybe King Kong saying, "Are you the motion picture reviewer of this newspaper?" He does not look happy. And you can write on the back of it. Tuck that in there. And here's a couple of pockets. This is another one of the cards that I made. Probably did a video on that. Another movie picture in that one. And you can write, oh, that one's covered. You could always glue some paper on there to write on the back of it. More writing space, a double pocket with some ephemera. Oops. And here is the middle between the second and the last. There's another pocket made from that books page. It's probably the cover of a book. Some nice lace trim there. Some of that cool paper. And here I have sort of a belly band on a corner pocket. And this is an old ad for Abyssal Carpet Sweeper that I found in an old magazine. And here's a collage paper that I made into a pocket. More collage paper for the tag. This is a little envelope. You can tuck small things in this bottom envelope. That's from the local theater's like newsletter that they send out with what plays they're going to be doing. And that tucks it down in there. And I've got something in here. And the pocket is a bit of a tuck space too. And some writing space. And this opens up. And there's a pocket down here. And a little pad of note paper. That back in. And that is glued on as a pocket as well. More writing space. Here's another old postcard in that tuck spot. Nice tall pocket. And here's that piano paper. I just put little stickers on it. And this is the center of the final signature from the movie book. More piano paper and a little cluster there. And here's, it looks like at least a triple pocket. And here's a nice pocket with some old pictures. This is actual old photo, and it is labeled with the people. Oh, it's got some writing on the back. And this, I think, is also an old photo, but it feels more like it's on paper. I'll get those in. Trying to do this gently. This is just a tuck here with some ephemera that can be written on. And write on that. Another pocket. And this is a piece of paper that you can write on. Oop. This looks like more Norman Rockwell. Two of his covers together, and you can write on the back of that. And this is a weird little pocket here. It's got little tuck spaces all around, and I glued it in as a pocket. This is piano roll paper, and I just glued in a bunch of cool ephemera. So that pocket, here I'll show you. You just take 4 strips of cardstock that are twice as wide as they are tall, and you put them together. I don't remember exactly how, but you can figure it out. You're like, yeah, like that. And then you'll have tuck space here and here and here and here. And so you glue them like you'd glue this one, glue there, and then glue here, and then put them together. And the same with this one. You glue there and here, and then put them together. And you just keep gluing all around until you get this pocket. Like that. It's pretty neat. I'll probably make more of those. More of that paper. and some trim, and there's a big envelope on this side, more collage paper, and inside the envelope there's another little pocket, and this is a big postcard with, that looks like what, Harry Truman? Nope, that's Wilson, President Wilson throwing out the first ball on opening day 1914. That doesn't mean that this card is that old. This card is from 1984. And in here we have 2 pockets, and this is one of those little glassine bags or envelopes, and I put a little ephemera in there. This little thing that I probably got from a book. Let me put that back. Let's see if I can get that in gently. All right, and on the very back page, it is the same as the front inside, covered with that weird homemade paper and lace there. And here I made a hinged pocket. I have an example of that too. I rarely make hinged pockets, but if you're going to put something substantial in a pocket, you want to make a hinged pocket, and you basically just score on the edges. I would normally score a little bigger. I would make it large and score about maybe a 1/2 inch on either side and a 1/2 inch on this side. And then you trim it like that. I don't know if I'm doing it right. Whatever. Do this better. And then you fold the bottom up. And you fold the sides up. There, so. And then you have a hinged pocket that can hold more stuff. So, yeah. Just in case you didn't know what I was talking about, now you know. And it's hinged because I wanted to put this in the journal. This is a little pad of paper. I got a bunch of them in a packet, probably at Goodwill. They're just like this. And so I did the Mod Podge. Well, first I glued on, it looks like I glued on book page, and then I did Mod Podge to put the napkin on top of that. And then I did it on the inside too, and then I went through and I inked all the pages. I tried to do it all at once, but I ended up having to go through page by page and make sure each one was inked. And that fits in the very back hinged pocket. And that's it. That is my lovely journal. So I have set up an Etsy page, and I'm going to be selling this journal on my Etsy page. So if you're interested in buying it, there will be a link down below the video, and I welcome you to go to my page and take a look. And I will be putting more journals on my Etsy page and probably selling most of them there, as well as bundles of stuff and maybe ephemera, that sort of thing. So thank you for watching, and I hope you got inspired, and I will see you next time.